Opening day, a stressful matchup.
Be interesting to see what the state of the scene is like in 2021. Maybe we're gonna have Overwatch League on the moon.
Hey, that would
recreate Horizon Lunar Colony as an arena for the players to play in.
Can the moon team really be all Korean? I don't know about that. Like, we need to have the astronauts on the team. I don't think it's. I just don't think it's right. Blizzard doesn't region lock the moon team.
Well, here we go, opening up on Noel. Gonna have a Pharah on the side of Ardeont, but none on the side of WGS. Actually gonna be running the dive composition, and they're gonna get down and dirty here on the low ground, already finding two. As Phobaba is taken out of the mech, promptly killed. And we'll be able to trade two back there as Ivy comes up with 2 kills in onto the healers for WGS, but he doesn't want to hit the ground, so he can't really contest this point that well.
Yeah, he's just lost most of his support here, and that's going to be the grab here for Laurels 9 as so much damage was pushed through. They didn't get the picks, but they just control the ground, and Farah's not able to do enough consistent damage to get killed, so they can't retake, at least not for the time being. Yep,
Bernard going to get taken out of his mech, and Lipq going to be taken down as Ardeont looks for the retake. Nobody here really contesting from the side of WGS. They tag in just at the last possible second to stop this from flipping over, but can they win out the longer fight is going to be the question. Sky goes slow, has the Dragon Blade ready to go, but does he feel confident enough in using it? They're going to pick on the range. That could certainly lead to it. Dashes through, gets a bit of damage in onto the Winston, but no, they're going to lose out onto the point in the end, and now WGS is going to have to regroup.
The most casual flip ever. Not a lot of dead bodies on the side of Laurels 9, but they retreated. They're playing very passively. Sky, most impressive thing about him so far has just been his accuracy on the left clicks. He's really shown quite good ability to hit them in the head, to simplify the phrase.
He's a great projectile player. Maybe he should be taken to the skies here on the Pharah, because Ivy has just been tearing it up. The guy that we just didn't have that much information about so far. Been out-fragging everybody here in this first map.
Lipq's holding on to this Transcends. They've got the sound barrier as well, so we might see a Dragon Blade coming through. It's just so difficult to set this up when the Pharah is wrecking havoc on your backline. Sky's healed up and ready to go. Looks like he's looking for a back angle. Now the Winston's move forward. He's got an opportunity.
Up on the higher ground, dropping down straight in on top of the Aquapunk, but doesn't draw out the blade. They will be able to get that Primal Rage pop, then Ivy pops a Mirage. He'll get one, gets taken down, and now Sky will draw on this Dragon Blade. He's looking for the Tracer, finds Stellar, takes him down, looking for a little bit more so he can get this flip to go through, but honestly, only just gonna get the one use out of it. Now he's in a bad spot, almost falls into the well. Still just spamming away here with the left and right clicks, trying to get some damage in with the Shurikens. They managed to pop Baba out of that mech, and now they're pushing forward, looking for the retake, and they should perhaps be able to get it, but don't want to let this go that easily. They're ticking up nearly at 80%.
Hey, Bernard's going to toss out the self-destruct. This is going to be enough to flip it here. But God, I can't take my eyes off Sky. He's just, every time we see him throw out those left clicks, I hear the headshot sound. He's got incredible accuracy. Holds on the Dragon Blade so patiently there till the end. That wasn't what flipped them the point. It was just the longer, more sustained damage because Stellar has actually not been able to pair well with Ivy. Sometimes it's actually a duo of the Tracer and the Bar in order to get kills, and it just has not been coming through here.
Order fiercely chasing through here onto the tanky members of O2. Doesn't have that pulse bomb ready to go, but might not even need it. Winston goes up into the air. He's got Violet there pocketing him. But meanwhile, Ivy, he's been taken out of the sky by Sky. The Genji there, multifaceted, does manage to kill the bird.
They have a massive ult advantage because OT Ardeont has just not been able to get good trades with this Pharah Tracer composition, and I think a lot of it comes to the fact that Sky's able to do so much consistent damage without ultimates, which means that they can have this ult advantage in terms of ult eco right now. Not even going to use one here. He has an opportunity to kill 2 supports. Doesn't want it. Wants to do it. Oh my God.
Gets to deflect right into a direct hit there onto Ivy. Beautifully done, but now has to retreat. Find himself inside, so he'll be okay here for the moment, but it's 91% on the meter there for WGS. They find a kill onto Violet. No reds available. This might just be a victory going over to them very easily. Overtime, gonna get tagged in here as Stellar goes forward, but he's got to kite back immediately. Rain tries to get in, but they just cut him down. Dragon Blade out from Sky, trying to deal with the Primal Rage Winston, and he just goes ahead and falls flat. like a deflated balloon onto the ground. Yakun cannot do anything to try to extend this. Everybody just getting picked off one after the other. It's a decent delay, but it's just not enough to put the point. Mirage claims one. Ivy goes down, and it seems like WGS Laurels 9 are exploding in on Achilios to start off the day.
They had so many ults available, man. They just are not using them, and the DPSs are just basically carrying these fights. When Pharah can't get any kills, that's when the Genji, the Tracer, is eliminating the members on the ground, because there's no ground peel DPS, there's no ground consistent DPS to eliminate the tanks. And if Ivy is struggling to survive even against a Genji who's harassing the Pharah so much, you can bet they're gonna have problems bursting through the tanks. The barrages have been well dealt with by Sky, and they're just holding ultimates because they're able to get picks vanilla with the left clicks. That's why on that last fight, they had a massive ult advantage because they didn't use ultimates to re-flip the point. And when O2 Ardeont actually committed to the push, that's when they had the ults. They staggered them well. The Transcendence, the Dragon Blade, the Barrier, very well played. Very scary to try to play against a team that's so good at dealing with the Pharah, even without long-range hit scan.
Well, take two here for O2 as they try to pick up a map win. As we move over to Lighthouse, Lift Q goes down, decent start. That's about how things went the first time out there on Well, and then it fell out of their hands and they couldn't gain it back. Points unlocked, O2 are in position to claim this one.
Grab it first. Laurels can't really get into position to contest this at the moment. We're gonna have to reset. This is a really nice corralling actually at the moment for O2 Ardeont to just really shove them back.
Solid angle here by Ivy as well. He's hovering straight over top of everybody and just raining down with these rockets. Pulse bomb comes through, but a bit too late. Different orders. They're not going to find a stick, not going to find a kill. They'll trade out Z-Bag for Yakun, and now Stellar has gone down as well. Sky dashing in will take that rocket to the face. Ivy finally able to deal with that pesky Genji. Still going to be a pretty even trade with O2 being in control of the points, so they're ticking up now, passing 30%. Order wants to get that D.Va, sees the Discord Orb, knows that he can get the damage in, but with the Lucio and the Mercy nearby, just can't quite finish him off the pop.
Trying to get that kill onto the Winston. The sound barrier going to be there, protecting it. It's a trade.
Lift Q wasn't in range or was out of line of sight, so he doesn't get anything. Order help marries that pulse bomb as he goes in for the recall, but doesn't find anything yet again. He's going to have to retreat, and this time around, WGS are being held at bay.
Stellar going to sneak around here. They have this advantage right now. They want to just stagger these.
Oh my God, he is just going to one-clip Lift Q. Doesn't even have to use the pulse bomb.
The staggering supports here. Look at, he finds the Lucio as well. Those that going deeper in here isn't necessary. And it's this time O2 Ardeont that is able to get these picks. The Pharah is actually doing a lot more because of the positioning that they have, the positional advantage they've had always. If they lose this point, it'll be a different story. But also, the Tracer play coming through here from Stellar. Well, it's been stellar, Achilios.
Yeah, another great angle. I'm going to pretend he didn't say that here. From Ivy, he's got that barrage ready to go. Transcendence is going to come out from Lift Q as they try to stay alive and get into the point, because it's nearly just 100% tank here for O2. Starts getting back capped, but somebody will go ahead, retreat, and deal with that. And now the Zenyatta is yet again in a bad spot, and this time does not have the ultimate to help save him. Dragon Blade comes through from Sky. He wants to get Stellar, but he's just too elusive there. With the recall, he is just chasing Ghost. Sky can't get anything done this time around. We're in OT. Self-destruct comes through. Bomba popped out of the mech, but that's about as good as it gets so far here for WGS. They push forward here. Z-Bag trying to get some work done. They get a couple kills. They lose out on that Winston, and Ivy arrives, but this time, Sky, he's ready for it. Hits him in the back of the head with the blade. He just goes ahead, carries in the rest of the team. Yakun's gonna die. Team kill in OT. WGS finally get the flip.
I love that picture-in-picture we had of all the dead bodies there for a second. So yeah, just to remind you, everybody died. Well, yeah, it was pretty impressive to see Sky just wait for his opportunity, hold the deflect there after dying, coming back in there, eliminating Ivy, which is the big ultimate that Ardeont had. They were trying to hold to finish this point, bring us to a third one. And now we're in a pretty even game here. Obviously, advantage Ardeont with the 99%.
Pulse goes through, Order finds nothing yet again. Has to improve on these pulse bomb usages. Down barrier out from range. Z-Bag already taken down as O2 look to reclaim the point. Somebody from the side of WGS has to stop this. Sky takes it upon himself, now has the Transcendence to back him up. He gets another Dragon Blade out, but so far the kills are eluding him yet again. Dashes out the back, evades that self-destruct, but he's got a very angry monkey, and he can't make it back in onto the solid ground. He'll go plummeting into the ocean. And O2, they get the reclaim, and it looks like they might be able to take Lighthouse.
Yeah, Ivy this time has just been able to have full reign, with the exception of Sky taking him out in that last fight. They do stagger in one by one, but this is very likely going to be the end of this second map here on Lighthouse.
Yeah, the res for good measure. O2 going to be able to tie this up 1-1.
When you have positional advantage with the Pharah like this, you know, everyone is stuck in this position, in this case on the left side, right? If we're looking away from the Lighthouse, they were stuck in on the left side because Ivy had full vision and full control there. No one was ever threatening him. Sky was harassing him nonstop, which I know sounds crazy, on the Genji on the first map on Well. But in this case, everyone had to stay kind of indoors to avoid those Pharah rockets. And every time they came out of the choke point, the Pharah wasn't getting kills, but was doing enough damage to really help them win the sustained war there. Sky's Dragon Blades as well, better mitigated by the support ult advantages that they had. OG Ardeont, of course. Now we're headed into Ruins, and this is going to be the most unique type of map here because this is going to be Pharah-less. It's going to be going back to more standard. Sky on the Sombra, Ardeont, however, very reluctant. It's going to be Widow versus Widow, but no harassing, no team fight potential there, only harassment from the Tracer versus the EMP potential for Sky.
Orders down onto the low ground here for now, finds a shot there onto Hababa. As both of those Zenyatas are going to get traded out, but Rain also goes down, and so does Juyoung. Everybody's just targeting the healers. They fall first and foremost. The cap is starting here for WGS. Seems like they're going to be able to get the take as Order takes down Ivy.
So, going to be an early lead here, which means that Order can start gaining vision of the approach angles here. We'll see if there are any hero swaps. Very unlikely, right? Just confirms. It's Zenyatta versus okay, they switched it. Okay, it's both running Zenyatta Lucio now, but point no longer relevant I was going to make, so let's move on. Achilios.
Sky is bailing the hell out of there, does not want to get stopped. Just like Seaback kind of did. Rain comes up with the killing blow there. Onto the Winston of WGS. They lose Order, they lose Juyoung, and this is just going really well here for O2. As they get that flip. 26% is all that WGS was able to accumulate.
Well, I mean, we knew this might be a close series. We knew that it was you know, tough to have expectations going into this one. But these two teams are, I mean, they are crashing into each other hard. We almost never see flips this early.
I mean, this is the first time that we've had the third round.
That's true.
Of control map. It's all been 2-0 so far.
That's a very good point you make. Well, now advantage obviously positionally goes to Ardeont, as they have Stellar here trying to spot anyone who's going to dive into the point. Sky notably would be the target they want to find.
Finds the headshot, but it wasn't full power, so cannot take down Order, but he is still very, very low. Self-destruct gets infested, but it's not going to find anything there from the side of Bernard. Has that defense matrix thrown out, trying to deny these shots coming out of the Widowmaker, but can't chase forward and try to kill Stellar. We'll go ahead and take a look at Order here in the picture-in-picture as he tries to fire away, get some picks off. And yet again, it's just going to be an exchange on these Lucios. And now the kills start coming through. Bernard out of the mech, Order down. See back here with his Primal Rage does get violent. Yakpun's going to go ahead and pop his own. He's got it pinned. It's one after the other. Every time a healer dies, the enemy team is answering for them. So you can tell everybody's just kind of playing spread around the map. Ardeont still in control with 70% as Yakpun falls, but no flip here for WGS yet.
Yeah, the EMP was solid, but it just wasn't good.
God, you have no HP.
He's going for the kill though, gets one.
Are you kidding me?
I'm guessing he doesn't have that mega pack there. Hacked.
He's waiting for it. It just came up, it just became available.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't hacked, or he would have had it much earlier, but they do finally get this flip. The EMP did a lot in that last fight. It was finally the moment where after WGS threw every ult and the kitchen sink at Ardeont, the EMP was the one that broke the Camel's back. Was able to get them the trades needed.
Bit late on that shot there for the Zenyatta, trying to find the flick. Wait for him, would love for him to peek him back, go around, back corner, finds him in the end off screen as Violet does go down. And this is just gonna be a slaughter now for WGS, just sweeping up O2 and throwing them in the bin.
This is just there's not much to say about strategy here with the exception of Sombra's adding in these EMPs. They're playing mostly Peel. Sky has more than he's been aggressive, and it's just been a mechanical outclassing, not by either team specifically, just another team during specific moments and get them the flips. We're not seeing a massive difference in strategy or huge play makes in terms of macro. We're just seeing outclassing. In this case, Stellar wins the Widow battle.
Sky now pushing forward here, just spamming away, trying to build up for that EMP. Desperately needs it. It's just 10% out from it. Sound barrier went through there from Ji-Young, but LiftQ, he doesn't get to use the Transcendence in time. He just gets popped with that in his arsenal, so now has to wait for the respawn. Both healers dead on the side of WGS. Sky's gonna bail out. There's gonna be a flip and a last-second contest coming through here from WGS.
They're gonna be very happy knowing that they have the EMP though to come back in here and contest it. Sky had an opportunity to get many hacks with his EMP, but wanted to wait until all his members of his team had respawned. Order won't be able to get much from this. Surprise, they don't actually switch Order to Genji or something else that would get more value from the hack. Looking for the pick on the Zenyatta. Risky business. If he had died, they would have lost the map for it. Here comes the EMP angle though.
Now Rain dying. He had the sound barrier ready to go. The tagging in just to delay this as much as possible. All of WGS piling in onto the point. Order does get taken down here by Yakun with his primal rage, but he needs so much more than that if he wants to maintain control. Sky EMP waiting to see if Violet rejoins so he can shut them down. Now throws it out, denies Ivy there with the dashes, gets the hack onto the Lucio. Rain in a rough spot. Gets healed up, Transcendence comes through. Violet keeping him in the fight with the flip. Did go over to WGS, now the sound barrier in. Only catches 3 members.
Crazy he used that sound barrier. It's actually really crazy. They might be able to get the flip regardless.
Yeah, they're looking for it. Somebody needs to get in there, but they cannot.
Nice
Shot
dive.
right out of the sky. Ji-Young goes down, and that is going to be it. 0-2 Ardeont against the run of play, the seeming run of play, I guess. Managed to close out Achilios. Very back and forth between these two teams, but they get the better of WGS in the end.
You know how scrappy a map is when we're watching the winning play of the map is a Lucio is hacked, kills the Sombra, and all we've got is like one Winston versus a Lucio and a Zenyatta, and the Zenyatta has to Transcendence to keep the Lucio alive so that he can then sound barrier right afterwards. We saw his 2 support ultimates used there at the end with no DPSs on the point, but it bought enough time and got them the better trades there to win out. Everything that happened realistically on that point of Ruins was really just back and forth. We had moments of great success on both sides in terms of the Widowmaker play. It was just the Tracer that was able to do more consistent damage, and then sometimes the added benefits of the EMPs from Sky got less and less value as the time went on. But we'll see as we go into more normal map types. Now this is obviously Control can sometimes be a very mechanical map because you're just brawling over the control point. As we get into more maps where strategy matters a little bit more, and we'll see if
no,
this
I already said no once. I'm gonna say no again.
Well, you know, I get the feeling that it won't happen, but I would like to see it in a small video. You know, maybe a small Twitter video posted by Play Overwatch Twitter. It'd be exciting. I can get behind that, just for, you know, experimentation's sake, to show that it's possible, right? Because you know, we saw Zenyatta walk.
That's true.
That was pretty cool.
That was actually excellent. That's the best one that they've done.
What was the other one?
Zenyatta walking. It was very, very goofy.
What was the other one they did? I can't remember.
It was a Torb wall running, and then oh hell, I don't. Oh, it was Mercy with the Reaper shotgun.
Oh yeah,
she was
yeah.
dual wielding. That's what it was.
That was funny.
So,
but
yeah,
I mean,
those are interesting.
The Zenyatta walking was mind blowing. I mean, it really was.
It was almost disturbing. It was almost not safe for work.
Like I feel like
weird.
Ready for a Zenyatta rework if like in 2 years time like Zenyatta's a problem hero. You know, there's a lot of things they could do with that. You know, they could add it into his lore. Like
I wish he should only be able to walk when he's using Transcendence, so he should just be gallivanting around with his big goofy legs, just trying to keep everybody topped up.
Climax is subbing in. Was not listed as an official sub today, but I suppose he's here in the studio, so able to come in here. Remember, this is the guy who's great at boosting team morale, and it's kind of another playing coach alongside Why Not, but obviously more of a player than Why Not is. Why Not, I don't know if we'll ever see him play in the booth this season, barring like an emergency with one of the players being ill or something like that. I think that's him actually right behind Yakpung. But anyway, they won the map, and they are going to you know, do the substitution. We'll see if it is going to make a big difference here, because I didn't really feel like there were any specific problems on the side of O2 Ardeont. I don't know if this, I didn't feel the sub was necessary per se. Subbing in for Ivy, I believe.
Yes.
And that makes a lot of sense given that Ivy's a player I didn't expect to see starting today. And in fact, I pretty much just found out was on the roster when we got here today because it wasn't listed to me. Watching some of these replays, this was well, of course, when we saw Sky just with some incredible plays. I mean, deflecting a rocket into a Pharah. I think that might be the first time I've ever seen that in a pro game. With the exception of Rocket Barrage, okay? I'm talking about left-click Rocket
Yeah, it's definitely a rare thing. I have seen it a couple times here and there going for the direct hit. I think I was watching Tvik. I think Tvik did it, actually. Might have been, I think he got a 180 turnaround direct hit on a deflection with a rocket.
Oh, yeah, that did happen.
So it's
been a while.
It's uncommon when it does happen, but it is certainly possible. But we're
I'm just doing that American thing, Achilles, where I'm like, I've never seen this. This is the best I've seen. This is amazing.
Yeah.
It's like Order's hero pool here. Looking forward to seeing his Zarya.
That'd be nice. The more Zarya, the better. We've had some fantastic ones coming through. I mean, even just in our first match of the day, Element Mystic running it there on the attack on the side of Hollywood. And just steamrolling everybody on X6.
Nice Zarya yesterday as well. That's what we do here at MBCU. You think you're safe, but coming back.
Yeah, you know, the Korean commentators like, put her back on camera.
Well, her drawing is fantastic, but I do want to point out that she brought it here before. Notice she put it over the cheerful sign there.
You're even wearing,
that wasn't drawn impromptu.
She is also wearing a face mask and hiding her face. She's going to extreme lengths to protect her identity.
Indeed. Notice Genji in that drawing isn't doing his pose, his trademark pose with his 2 fingers. No idea what that means, but maybe that means that Order's a special type of Genji player. And he keeps his hands down.
Or maybe he's just not as focused.
Maybe.
Could be.
I don't know if he'll ever be playing Genji in this lineup today with how well Sky was playing it earlier. But, you know, it's in his hero pool, according to that sign.
Yeah. Well,
we're having just obviously the settings of Climax being fully set.
Yeah, just making sure that he's good to go. Excellently done. Making sure that he is good to go before we jump into the next one. But it seems like things might be ready now. As Nabani will be our second map of the day. This is WGS's favorite hybrid to go to, so no real surprise.
Yeah, I wonder what sort of comp they're going to be running, because we just really, I feel like, saw 2 Rams smashing heads against each other on Achilios, so it's not a lot of strategical depth shown, although we saw that O2 Ardeont did not prefer the Sombra on Ruins. That was the big difference, and of course the Genji we saw on Well, but those are things that are, like, again, kind of irrelevant. And remember, it's not like we didn't prepare for this broadcast. We did everything we could to find out about these teams. There's just not that much to know. And so I think this is going to be kind of a learning experience for everybody as we watch these 2 teams develop through this first series when they face each other. I can't tell you what their preferences are on Nimbani, if we'll see a Soldier come out or if we will see more standard dive. I would have to guess that WGS Laurel 9 will be running that dive given how well Sky already showed Genji play, his accuracy there, and his ability to actually flank and kill supports. It's terrifying when you think about Genji as a hero that's normally a flanker, one that kills supports and can build up 4 big Dragon Blades just by harassing. And when you're starting to get scared for your tanks because he's hitting headshots with his left clicks, it's another story entirely.
Not only that, but also just scared for your Pharah, who normally would be pretty reasonably safe up in the sky, but it has taken a bit of a turn.
So now we see the reasoning by the Climax sub here. He's going to be playing the Soldier here on defense after Nimbani was picked. Bring the Soldier player in here as he will be heading up the defense. This strategy has had a lot more success than the Orisa Widow and Torbjorn strategies we've seen on this map so far this season. This is an old favorite, but Sky's on the Genji, but this time he's got the Pharah on his side. They have the answer with this Soldier to this Far Mercy comp, but I think it's going to be about Sky, how much he is able to accomplish in this dive. Sombraless this game. Wow, it's been a while.
Yeah. Could be a very quick swap, however. If this goes awry for either side, Violet firing away. They get forced back, has to use the Orb of Harmony there on the rain to help keep them sustained. Everybody's just piling into the tunnel. help keep themselves alive. Climax missing the Helix rockets, doesn't find those, gets booped off. Says goodbye as he falls to his death, and this is just going to be WGS exploding in onto Nimbani with their map pick and finding success on point A. Second pick is already there. Could be a very last second contest, but I think, yeah, O2, they realized we have to just abandon
They just didn't expect Order to come in and totally Shrek. And normally when you have a soldier composition, the FARA doesn't work very well. You go back, you reset, you switch heroes. In this case, you just concuss him, knocked him off the side. And so he died instantly. They didn't even have to worry about the heavy dive. They didn't have to worry about some sort of coordinated push to burst down the soldier through his biotic. He just knocked him off the side straight up, so they get the free win. Yeah, it was pretty premature from Climax, but he'll come back in this one, still sticking through with the soldier 76. We'll see if he can find any success as he builds up for that attack. Pfizer dive forward, coming in here for Z-Bag, but almost goes down, immediately gets that discord, and now from the back, Seller goes in. He'll be able to take him out. Seller over here finding some struggles getting in to kill the supports. Good flex here on the side of Lucio to just kind of watch him there and kind of heal a little bit. Climax drops out this attack visor. Not very impressive or effective, however. Almost felt like a mistake.
Sky on the other side of the fight, a triple kill comes through for the Dragon Blade right before Climax hits him with the Helix rockets to finish off the killing spree. Big impactful play there from Sky. Yet again, coming through with that Genji. He'll get rezzed up by Limp Q as the payload keeps moving, and we're basically here at point B. The jump in comes from Yakpun Pung, and that is going to be a barrage to answer. We've arrived at the station, and it's almost 6 minutes on the clock.
And the protection for Climax just simply has not been there. We could give him a free pass when the concussion blast knocks him off the side, but when he's just simply getting blown up and there's no peel coming in from Humbaba, then it's not really his fault, but he felt the need to use Tackwiser to save himself there, wasted it. Soldier's just really struggling without peel when he doesn't have high ground in this meta. And that's just continuing right now. This is just a steamroll. The train is not stopping here.
Yeah, they have not been hindered really at all. Primal Rage coming through here from Yakpung as he pushes forward, trying to smack the back Tackwiser yet again from Climax, but he has to run away back into the corner because everybody on WGS is diving in with that sound barrier ready to go. They'll get the pop out there onto Bernard. Maybe Diva might just go down. O2 Ardeont trying to turn things around. It seems like they have successfully shoved off WGS here for the moment, but now Sky, he wants to turn that one around yet again. Has the Dragon Blade out. Sound barrier comes down here from Rain. Get the pop there onto Humbaba, but can't really pick up much else.
This is actually terrifying for O2 Ardeont. Their entire composition has been shut down hard just by really coordinated dive with Sky. And Climax had another failed attack visor, completely shut down, ineffective, panic button it almost felt like, forced both supports to use ultimates to save him as well and still couldn't get a single pick. And this is an insane time pick Achilios of 420.
Oh boy, well Climax goes down, but yeah, you're right. It seems like he was shooting blanks with that attack visor, wasn't really getting any damage, and now barrage down from Order, straight into the face of the monkey that jumps in to try to stop him. It'll be zoned back and the self-destruct kills Juyung, so a slight little breath of fresh air for O2 Ardeont as they desperately try to hold off. 4 minutes still on the clock. WGS have been looking really good.
Climax finally able to get the damage done there in conjunction with the Discord orbs. Z-Bag overextending. We've seen a few of those on Nimbani from him. It's gotten him some successful dive kills. And this last fight perhaps didn't have the proper support. Ended up dying for it as they're still running the Mercy with this Farah. It's just so frustrating that Climax is really unable to get good shots off here because the dive has been so coordinated, but they've regained some composure here. Climax in position here again now to do the max amount of damage. The dive is coming through. Actually, pretty heavily on the side of Laurels 9. You can see right here, though, Violet's got a great line of shot to add that extra damage.
Firing away, has the transcendence as well. He needs to pile in on top of the payload, but actually the pressure is enough to force him to use it, and he's still contained in the side room because Z-Bag is just smacking away at him. Attack visor out here from Climax, and the Dragon Blade here from Sky. He wants it to get that soldier, and he does just that, slices him through. And now Lucio just running around as best as he can to keep this one in contention, but it's just a matter of time as the rockets rain down, the shurikens from the side. WGS force their way all the way through to point C.
This is a bad sign, Achilios, for the rest of this series, because in terms of straight up brawling, these teams looked pretty even. We had the sub of Climax to come in, but in terms of just coordinated dive, where you don't actually fight over a single point, but you're actually looking for objectives, you're looking to take out the soldier, you're looking to control certain zones using your dive. When they're struggling in all aspects with this sub they just put in Climax, it's not a good look for what the rest of the series can look like, even looking ahead towards Assault and Escort. But Climax, he pulled these tag visors, he built them pretty well because he was doing decent damage, especially with the Discord orbs. But when he said, "I've got you in my sights," I think what he really meant to say was, the dive is on top of me, I'm looking at him, they're killing me, I need help, I need peel, and he just was not getting it.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a new strategy. Maybe you just pop the tac visor and then bait the enemy team to go ahead and jump in. The rest of your squad, knowing this, is prepared to deal with them. That's that. Well, that 40 chest coming through if they could pull it off, but really strong push there.
So, yeah, he's out of black markers there to fill that sign.
And finish it
so
off.
We got the producer to confirm that one to us what that sign was about. But yeah, I just, I worry now that, especially because Climax is supposed to be the one that's great at boosting the team morale and is a super positive attitude player, that it's not bringing the positivity in at this point. But I think it's, again, not his fault so much. It's just that there wasn't much support from Humbaba and Yakpung especially to make sure that he could do consistent damage. And consistently, support ultimates were forced out early when Climax was dove without Sky using the Dragon Blade. Then they didn't have the support ultimates when the Dragon Blade was coming through. We do see it is going to be a completely different setup, though. It's going to be counter dive here for WGS on the defense. Old school runaway style with the, and Lunatic High style with the Ana here, Genji defense.
Ardeont will be running the Sombra. See if he can weasel his way into the back line, try to isolate Swift Q. We're too young for now, just pushing straight up the middle, and they're gonna find order. Really nice takeaway here as they get in onto the point, nearly building up for that first pick already. Bernard barely escapes here with his mech still intact. Big biotic grenade comes through from Liv Q. Baba knocked out. Bernard will finally follow as Climax finishes that one off. And it might just be another very rapid cap here on the point A.
When you're running dive as a defensive setup and half of your damage is gone, you're really going to struggle to regain control of the point itself. You have a beefy sustained damage hero like a Soldier 76 to really help you push through the tank line. So with Sky alone, just throwing paper shurikens to try to regain it. So Ardeont's got another great time. This could totally turn everything around.
Hey man, I mean, if you give somebody enough paper cuts, it's really gotta suck. It's gonna take their mind off the game. So
it's gonna build up to 78% of your Dragon Blade too. But
yeah. It's gonna do quite nicely, just like Climax did there. Pulse bomb gets a stick on his E-bag, and he finishes him off right as he gets the fancy little recall there. Keep himself alive. Stellar is into the back. Once this hack onto the Genji, should be able to get it. Knocks him down about half HP before he heals back himself.
Does not get that pick he was looking for, but does have the EMP now. Goes for the massive one here.
Opposite through, don't think he caught too young, but didn't have that sound barrier ready to go, and Z-Mac will die in the end anyway. Yakpung pushing up with that primal rage, just keeping them all at bay. And yet again, we're having a very rapid push coming through here as they get ready to arrive at point B. Sound barrier coming down, WGS. They want to stop this one. 0.13 meters in front as Sky falls with that Dragon Blade ready to go. So certainly not going to be the most convincing play by them that we've seen so far, investing a major support ultimate in and getting absolutely nothing for it.
When the setup was obvious, when the setup was a soldier composition to try to slow down these pushes for O2 Ardeont, Sky had a field day, so did Z-Bag. They were able to look for the priority targets and supports, and obviously the soldier who had no peel. But out there playing against a more mobile composition that's winning these trades against them, Sky and the rest of the dive just isn't able to get the kills they're looking for as easily when there's a little bit more chaos on the defensive side here.
A little bit more is an understatement for sure. There's a ton of chaos going on in the screen. We're going to track everything that's happening for you guys. It's a bit difficult, but we're working our way through. Sky looking for an opportunity to use that Dragon Blade, but that's going to be the EMP coming down from Stellar, denying it away from him. And he's just going to get taken down the boot from the Diva. From Baba finishing off the Genji. Bernard's dead as well. And O2 Ardeont are still pushing forward with plenty of time left in the clock.
Stellar and Climax are just doing finally a much better job of preventing Sky and Z-Bag from killing the backline, killing the supports. Those are the targets they're looking for this time. but with a, instead of a soldier having a tracer and a Sombra, you can do a lot more. And you can see already here, just kind of shutting down this Dragon, or excuse me, not Dragonblade, shutting down this Genji as he's trying to kind of peel off away. They do slowly lose momentum here as the long run back to finish this point continues. See if Sky's just been holding that Dragonblade forever.
Yeah, has not had the opportunity to use it. We'll have Lift Q here ready to go with the Transcendence, so can utilize that to ensure that the Genji stays alive. See how they want to utilize this. Stellar comes in from the back, gets the hack in onto Z-Bag, and Bernard is just getting shredded down in that mech.
Yeah, Stellar's doing so much here with this health pack. Can just keep harassing, kills Sky here, and it just feels like no one remembers that Stellar exists. Z-Bag taking so much damage there, and now he's nearly got another EMP. I don't know. Shut down the Dragonblade setup that Laurels 9 is looking for here to stop this final completion.
Lift Q had to use the Transcendence as well. Now they just have the sound barrier, but Order's already been eliminated. See back here, the Primal Range goes forward, but he is getting shredded down as this Bernard sound barrier comes through in the end to help keep the tops up. And Sky, he's just wandering around with a sword in his hand.
He didn't get the barrier. He didn't get the barrier. That's a big problem. Jiyoung was out of range of the EMP, so at least he was able to get that sound barrier up and just didn't empower the Dragonblade, so it felt wasteful there. And now total control given to Ardeont. It looks like they are going to have the better time bank here. Yep. But man, was that a disaster defense. What we saw on the attack with Sky's Genji was so good at focusing down stationary targets, sloppy setups on the side of O2 Ardeont on defense. But when it came to just taking these fights and looking for trades against the DPSs, Genji was shut down, his mobility stagnated by the hacks coming through from Sombra, and we had, Z-Bag constantly basically just allowing the EMPs to be farmed, was being over-aggressive with no real target. It felt like when there wasn't a pivoting target like the Soldier to really focus on with this dive, or the Pharah we saw them focus on in game 1 on Achilios, they just were not as coordinated, they were not able to get picks, they looked disjointed and honestly reminiscent in a lot of ways of how Shanghai Dragons have approached a lot of their attacks. And Overwatch League just not understanding where to go, who to focus. Everyone's on a different page, and that's a problem.
Well, here we go. OT rounds on Nimbani. Not much time separating these two teams.
A fairly, scary that we're seeing Climax on the Soldier get it totally was unsuccessful. We are going to see the same setup here for Laurels 9. This may just be a straight up copy, a straight up repeat of what we saw last time. But if they can better peel for Climax, they can build or burn, a lot of that time bank.
Well, up on the high ground goes WGS. The clock starts ticking. Order trying to get the knockoff there. Doesn't find anything this time around, but they get the immediate pop on Humbaba, who tried to match them up top. And he gets punished for it.
That's so much peel lost for Climax. He has to retreat. He no longer has points. This is going to be a capture. Look at Climax. He's going to be the next target. He's got to get out of there. He might be stuck.
He can't safely poke out.
Yep.
He's going to have to surrender this already 2 ticks. Absolutely massive. 1 point A. Stellar's doing what he can, but has the kite back. The leap comes through from Youngfunk, but yet again, he just gets eliminated right off the bat. Still ticking up. That's going to be the cap coming through. They've got 2 minutes on the clock now to go as far as humanly possible here in the streets phase.
You get to see when there's a focal point for this squad, this case being the Soldier, they're able to focus all their attacks together. D-Mech, Humbaba, they go through and just force Climax out. They didn't kill him, but they killed his effectiveness by just forcing him away. He did a lot of damage, but he was just trying to peel the tanks away. He has attack visor as a result, but dead before he can use it. But now, I mean, I just feel like the strength here of Laurels 9 is what, I mean, their strength of their playstyle with this dive with the Sky and the Pharah targeting is so good when they have a focal point. And again, Ardeont is giving it to them. Humbaba was the only one who could realistically peel there, and he was the first to get D-Mech.
Climax yet again getting picked immediately. Order showing off the accuracy here with the Rockets, has that barrage ready to go. Dragonblade going to be invested here from Sky. He goes towards the Transcendence, gets answered by Violet. Lift Q, in the meantime, has been taken out to the Pharmacy comp, going to be cut in half, and this is going to be the opportunity for O2 to shut down this push. Multiple kills coming down, Climax hunting for somebody.
That was some serious accuracy we were seeing there with the hit scan coming through from Soldier. I mean, obviously the fight was over, but you could see what Climax is capable of if he's protected well enough there. I also felt like Sky, okay, he's going to switch onto the Sombra. So that was a very lackluster Dragon Blade, very much swinging at the Sky in this case.
Yeah.
Living up to his name in one way, I suppose.
He was doing his best tuba impersonation.
Oh, he certainly was.
The other day, so paying homage to him. Knock off the high ground attempted there from Sound Barrier, now going to come through for Rain. Hitting pretty much everybody there on his team. Mirage ready to go. Order of Ring nearby, has not used it yet, sees the Primal Rage coming through. Wants to save it for some juicier targets. Young and Z-Bag in the meantime have gone down. We're about to enter overtime. Order's going to pop it, but doesn't really have much of a target. Gets a bit of damage in, but just gets taken out of the sky by Yakplum. I think that's going to be it. WGS Laurels losing way too many members. Bernard knocked out. Then the overtime ticking it down. Winston will go ahead, tank back in for the moment, but Z-Bag, he's dead on arrival. And that should just about be it here.
He's just trying to buy time. It's not going to really work out. They didn't even switch the Pharah immediately after that happened. Not having much faith in their chances of coming back.
Tagging yet again, Lift Q and Sky both going down. Order no longer there to delay. That will be a halt there on the push. So they did get the cap onto point A, which is a good start, but they didn't make it that far through the streets phase. And with the amount of time that O2 has in the bank, this could be setting them up for another victory.
Yeah, the coordinated dive was there again, and Climax struggled, but after we saw Humbaba able to stabilize and survive during the streets phase, the peel was much better, and a lot of focus fire actually went into Sky, so he was never able to get the Dragon Blades he wanted, wasn't able to build the Dragon Blades he wanted as well. And it did a more split-up team with good peel from Humbaba. He wasn't even really able to do much outside the Dragon Blades. We were touting him as a great left-click Genji, just like players like Who Are You were famous for in the past. But, you know, this time it falls a little bit short. But as you say, this is not a terrible push by any means. Now that we switched the sides, though, if he's struggling against the same comp he did so well against earlier on attack, now that he's going to be defending with Genji, assuming that's the composition they choose, I worry, because when he was able to just easily choose that focal point, choose the target, it's the backline, it's the push supports on point A, it's Climax on the Soldier. When he had to choose targets that were more mobile and the peel was better for Violet and Rain, he just couldn't kill those supports. So a little bit worried for WGS, to be honest, on this attack. Or excuse me, on this defense. Yeah. The defensive Genji dive versus the attack.
Well, they're trying it yet again. It got completely shattered the first time out. So see how they're going to manage it. Climax is back over onto the Tracer. Stellar is poking forward, looking for something. They're going to just go ahead and start backcapping this one. They almost have the first tick, as the WGS has been completely shifted away from the point.
Yeah, they're not where they want to be, to put it bluntly. Stellar is just doing a lot of damage here. Sports misses the hack here on the Lucio, actually gets punished.
Yeah, he'll get tagged in from behind Sky. Does manage to take him down. The first tick is still there, however, there hasn't been really anybody halting them. Sky forced to use the deflect. They will peel back for now. 2:30 on the clock, first tick ready to go.
See if the second run in here for Stellar is a little bit more successful. Ooh, Humbaba nearly getting taken out, being very aggressive. Not actually getting into where they need to be. This is not the zoning they were looking for. He gets popped
to the end. Climax has the pulse bomb, finds the stick, and Z-Bag goes down. A nice little turn of events as we hear that nano boost going to be used. Not sure who the target is quite yet. Haven't spotted it out. Climax forced to use the recall. Keeps himself alive, and Bernard just baited into the side room where everybody was waiting for him. Baseball bats in hand. And they beat him to death.
All right, just trying to buy some more time here is Sky with this Dragon Blade.
Nice deflection, but Hack is going to come through and he can't dash. He can't do anything. He's just going to be kiting backward and just to stay alive, but it still seems like this could be the point capture here for O2. Nearly rolls in, just going to be Bernard sitting in onto the point now, joined in by Z-Bag. He tries to push back the members of O2, but it's not happening. They just keep dying one after the other. They tried this comp yet again. It fails. LiftQ going to be swapping off this time onto the Moira away from the Ana, but it's not that much distance and O2 has to go to close this out.
They just really want to have this extra healing to slow down the push and out-sustain the final moments of the attack for Ardeont because they don't have a great time bank. Like you say, they have to push it too far. But I've been really impressed with how Stellar is able to shut down Sky's effectiveness. Looks like Sky agrees. He'll be switching over to the Sombra now himself. So with the exception of the Moira on the defense. Mirrored compositions here now. Moira can be so great if you can keep those tanks alive and just bursting through. They're going to have both tank ultimates to push people off that payload. But they got to live for 50 more seconds before that's going to matter.
They're filing through right now, looking for a target on this for this pulse bomb. Is Order throws it out, but it's not going to be finding anything. Down barrier was invested as well, but they haven't really been able to pick up any kills in the meantime. Primal Rage gets used by Yakfung, just trying to smack everybody away, create some extra distance here for the payload as it's nearly at the stop, and it is just going to be 3 members going down. Lipq getting ready to join them. Seems like he's going to get topped back up or close to it, but Order's dead. They have very few members that can buy time, and it's just going to be O2 closing this one out on Nambani. They move up 2-0.
Well, it's just a problem that Sky's effectiveness was so varied in this game. And Climax, he's had his struggles with the lack of peel when he was playing the Soldier, but when he was playing the Sombra, switching to the Tracer, they just weren't able to do much with Sky's Genji. And it was like night and day versus the setups with the long-range hit scan, the more turtley comps. It goes in, smashes it, because Humbaba was not really doing its job. But when he was having to try to chase down the DPS targets, we had the DPSs peeling for the Genji rather than actually trying to get picks, which I thought was really cool, seeing more peel-oriented Sombra, peel-oriented Tracer to stop Sky's effectiveness. Suddenly, Pharah isn't doing as much either in some of these situations. That's why they weren't able to push too far in that overtime round. And these have been very close games, don't get me wrong, but I feel like Sky has actually been very much an inconsistent player.
Yeah.
And I think that that's been the crutch that they're hobbling on right now. Of course, talking about WGS.
Yeah, it's been hurting them quite a bit. The shirt says Man in Dream might need to be changed to Man in Nightmare if this win streak continues here for the side of O2 Ardeont, because just the inconsistency there from Sky is not paying off well for WGS. They have very limited options as far as changing things around goes, so they just need to go with their map picks, their strongest possible ones, and just hope that they can win out these scrappy fights. But O2 so far have been able to scrape their way by. They got the 2-1 victory there on Achilios to start it off, and then Nambani was just, you know, an even faster push to say, okay, like, you push this pretty fast, we'll push it faster. You pushed it this far, we'll push it just a little bit further. They get the wins, and now they're set up well for our assault map. But I think that's going to be it here for the first half. When we come back,